That was so like not. Like,
Wait, so tell me more about Cabo. Welcome back to Dumb and Broke. I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Bryan.
And we're solo.
We are solo.
And this is a late night session.
It is. It's 8:30.
So we're going to go.
Yeah, we don't have a guest today. But I think that's good because like this is our podcast and I feel like guests are great and we have more lined up. But like I feel like people do listen to it for us, right? So the last couple of episodes was like a little bit less of us. So
But I feel like with each new guest, they're like, you guys are getting to see, for the ones who maybe only know like part of our lives,
yes.
Or you're seeing, it's still us, but like you're seeing a different version of us,
right,
through the lens of our friends.
Yeah. That's why I think I like both. Like I feel like we should, mix it up and have some episodes just you and I because, we get to like, share more about our lives when it's just you and I. I mean, think about it. Even just like a conversation with, if you're at a bar with just one friend versus three friends, versus like having three people in the group, it changes the vibe a little bit, right?
Yeah, it changes the vibe.
Not in a bad way. It just, it's different.
It also sounds like we're trying to overcompensate that we like don't have enough friends to have a guest every single week. So we're like, no, guys, like it's just gonna be us.
True. I mean, if someone was available today, we would have had a guest, but we had no one available. So
anyway, we're here. Be grateful.
Yeah, but also like, when are we gonna get famous over this? We've done like over 30 episodes. It's our time, right?
It's our time.
It's our time.
So like, if you're listening and you want to sponsor the pod, sponsor the pod.
We have some subtle, hints over here from Diet.
This is what they call product placement in the biz.
Yes, you're welcome, Diet Coke. I mean, we drink enough Diet Coke. We should be sponsored.
This might be controversial. Would you drink Diet Pepsi if they paid us?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I would drink fucking...
So we're not exclusive until the dollar bills come in.
Yeah, I'll do a lot for a little.
Wow, I'm trying to think of something that you like hate.
Olives.
And this olive is... And then pop it in your mouth. Cut.
Yeah. I would do it.
Yeah.
But we usually say this at the end, but we really want to like up our subscribers. So if you're watching this right now on YouTube, or if you're just listening to it, if you wouldn't mind going to YouTube and just subscribing to the podcast there, that'd be really great.
That would be so great.
Yeah. We're trying to get famous.
Or at least like
paid.
We're trying to get paid.
Yeah, we'll take one or the other.
Trying to get paid.
Yeah. I feel like we've had this conversation. Would you rather be famous, no money, or rich, but no fame? Wait.
I think I would rather be rich with no fame.
Yeah, I feel like that's a no.
Yeah. But I think that's evolved as I've gotten older. I think for a really long time, I wanted like the notoriety of being famous, which now I think I just want to be rich and do nothing. Like I really want the freedom of being rich.
Same. Like that is my ultimate goal is like, I want to have enough money. So because my ultimate goal is not working.
Right.
In order to do that, I need money.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
The minute, if we could just hang out once a week.
I don't even want to do this. Just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Like, actually, this would be the life.
Can you imagine we have all these ads flooding in, and then every week we're sitting there like, fuck, we got to record this Diet Coke Pepsi or Diet Coke episode one more time. Let's just make a pact right now that we're never going to complain about that.
Okay. We just shook our hands.
This is a lie.
With our left hands. Me complain? Oh my God, I would never.
Like, that's a lie. No matter what we just did, we just lied to each other face to face.
Oh my God. What have you been up to? I feel like we haven't really hung out a lot outside of the podcast recently.
Right. What have I been up to? I got back from Jamaica and then just like have not done much. the weather, it is cold, and I don't want to be outdoors or out and about whatsoever. But I need to change that.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm not liking this cold. I feel like I just got back from Cabo, and I feel like I picked like I didn't pick it, but I went on the best weekend because it was like a snowy weekend and super freaking cold.
Yeah.
Cabo was so good. Like the weather was in the 70s the whole time, sunny. Here comes a burp. You're welcome. But I got a spray tan before Cabo, and
It looks so good.
it did, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only person that goes to Cabo tan and leaves pale. Like, how does that happen? Like, I'm lighter now than I am when I went much. I got a little sunburn on my forehead. I don't know if it's still there. Is it red right here?
Wow, a little.
Yeah, that's about it. But
See, I wanna burn.
SPF 100, baby. That's what I did.
Which I should. I actually did a really good job when I was in Jamaica of wearing sunscreen, except for like on my chest. But I got a tan line. Who else can say that they have a tan line in February? So
I have spray tan lines. I still have that. There is I would say one of the most iconic clips that we've ever posted on our social is the one where I'm like, I never have any issues with being white. But I was literally talking about like my skin tone being I'm fair.
Yeah, not your issues being a white man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That one, like on TikTok, a lot of like random people comment on it. So it was like our mini viral moment. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Now that I got that spray tan, I realized like, wait, like I look better tan, like with a little bit of sun, and it might be like my new thing. I might like get spray tans.
So can we do it together? Because I saw yours and I'm like, wow, I just remember life being better with a spray tan.
I felt confident and like
you do. Everything looks better when you just have like you don't have to be like the most tan person in the room, but like when you get a little bit of color.
Yeah. And like those muscle people who do those shows, they get so
those muscle people, bodybuilders. Yeah,
they like get like hardcore spray tans, right? But
they do like 3 different layers,
and they do that because like it shows more definition in your muscles, right? That's the science behind it.
Yeah, and
I feel like it worked for me too. Like I feel like I sent you and Tegan a picture of me where like my body looked freaking sick, and I was like, I look like that?
Like what?
Who is that? And I think it's the tan that helped a lot of it.
Okay, so we're entering our spray tan era.
Yeah. And it really wasn't that bad. It was a nice experience, actually.
Cool. I'm in.
Yeah. But in all, Cabo was really cool. I mean, can we talk about all-inclusive resorts, though?
Yes.
Like,
can I just say, like, food is mid?
Like, mid at best.
At best. The best thing is the breakfast. If there's a breakfast buffet, bomb. Yeah. If you got somebody whipping up an omelet over there, yes, go to them, and that's going to be your best meal all day.
I had an omelet every morning. Yep.
Every morning.
Yeah, the breakfast is definitely the best. I'll tell you, the best meal I had at that resort was the turkey sandwich that I got through room service that took 1 hour and 15 minutes to arrive. Like that was like the best. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was great, but it was tough. It was the best thing.
The food in Jamaica wasn't great either, and I had a lot of people ask about that. I feel some sort of guilt when people ask me, oh, how'd it go? And I have some negative things to say, but I don't want to complain. I got to go to Jamaica. Like that was insane. Yeah. Like it's with the people that I'm like, do you want the full truth here? Or do you just want me to tell you that I had a great time?
Right.
Because if you want the full truth, then I can tell you, wow, sun was great. I feel revived. Food was trash. If you're about to ask me about jerk chicken, I can tell you I for sure did not have the real stuff on that resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I literally just went through that. Like a friend was asking me and I was being real, I said that.
So real.
I was being so real. And he was like, sounds like you're complaining. I was like, I'm just answering.
Why'd you ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely not go to an all-inclusive resort for the food.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like easier, like especially with like groups. It's kind of like renting versus owning. Like when you rent, like everything is taken care of for you. You don't really have to worry about if things break. I kind of like mixed the two comparisons together, but you know what I meant. Like, yeah. But it's just like, it's so mid.
Yeah.
It's not great. But I also didn't realize how far Cabo is. Like, it's on the other side of the country. Well, it's in a different country, but it's on the West Coast, you know? So it's like, it's all the way down. It's at like the very tip and all the way west. So it took like 8 hours.
I feel like I'm messed up with my geography. Is it not underneath Texas?
I mean, Mexico is underneath Texas, but it's a big country, Chelsea. And
So it loops like around toward California?
yes, it goes all the way. Yeah, you can. Mexico borders California. Is this breaking news to you?
Alert the fucking press.
We know which one's dumb. Oh,
Today.
Wait, that means I'm broke. But yeah, so honest, but you know how I'm like afraid of like flying.
Mhm.
I'll say those both flights there and back must have been the most smooth flights I've ever experienced.
Really?
Like zero, I wasn't scared at all. I mean, a little bit, but like
Maybe you're overcoming.
maybe, but it was smooth. Like there really was no turbulence.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I did have a really annoying seatmate on the way back. Like what I'm about to share with you sounds like a skit on like SNL, but I'm not lying to you. Like this man, first of all, he wasn't supposed to sit there. He switched seats with someone else, which already annoying. And it was a exit row. He started watching a movie, and as I was about to put my headphones in, he was like, "Have you seen this movie?" I'm like, "No, what is it?" Like, and he's like started to tell me about it, and I'm like, maybe I was like already. I don't want to talk to you when I'm on the plane.
Mm-mm.
Like, I'm there to watch a movie, fall asleep if I can, listen to my music. Don't talk to me. So the fact that he even like said a word to me, I was already like, ugh. And then during the movie, he hit me a few times. He tapped me to talk about the movie, and he was like telling me like, "You have to watch this movie." And I was like, "Oh shit!" There goes the Diet Coke.
Exactly. I was like, "Oh shit!" But then, like,
Do we continue the podcast? All right.
Anyway,
Heated.
We're heated. What
Was
movie was it?
I don't even know.
Oh, so he did not do a good job of selling it.
I wasn't listening. You know,
Yeah.
It was like some action movie.
Wild.
Not interested. But he literally tapped my shoulder. I would say like 3 times to talk about it, and I was just like getting to the point where I was about to say like, "Dude,
Sir.
I don't want to talk to you."
Why do I just envision him as an 80-year-old man?
He was probably like in his like 50s.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. But would that have been rude if I told him, "Hey, like I'm not interested in talking to you"? Would that have been rude?
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like, yeah, because there's no way I could have ever done that. There's no way if I would sit there and I would probably, I don't know, in my mind, I would have a face that was like, "Please stop fucking talking to me." But it would probably look like this. That's what it would look like.
If you're listening, she had a fake
I'm
smile.
still smiling.
Yeah.
A stranger would not know the difference between my fake smile and my real smile. So
I thought having my headphones in and like,
being a stranger on the plane.
yeah, there was a point where I literally just closed my eye. I wasn't sleeping because I have a really hard time sleeping on planes, but I just pretended I was sleeping so that he wouldn't bother me. That actually
Someone talks
worked.
to you.
Yeah, I'm just
I'm gonna start doing that in real life.
Peanuts. Like, it was pretty bad, but that was the first leg, and then the second leg was smooth sailing. So, but at least I didn't eat anyone's snacks.
That is something that will haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know if that I've been
The same ever
high
since.
on a plane since.
Oh, really?
I don't know that I have. That was like one of the highest I've ever been.
I don't know how you do that. Like, you go through security and all like. Oh, I have another story.
But it's like a light. It's like a light high, like a explaining drugs on the podcast. But it's the edibles that are dangerous. The edibles that are dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think this one was a 50 milligram. I didn't take the whole thing, but I took a little bite. So you never know how concentrated each piece was. And well, it turned out that one got me. That one got me.
A man tried to sell me drugs in the bathroom in Cabo.
Oh.
Yeah. That was interesting. I pretended like I was interested too, and I looked at everything. I was curious.
What kind of drugs?
He had Are we allowed to say this on YouTube?
Well, we're not sponsored yet.
Yeah.
We'll start filtering
It's
when the sponsorships come in.
Yeah. He had weed, he had Coke, and he had Molly.
Oh.
Yeah. I bet you it was none of the three that I just said either.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No. That's a no for me.
Yeah. I was like, I need to go talk to my friends and see like which ones they want, and I'll be back. I didn't come back.
No. Well, could you imagine being the type of person that buys drugs from a stranger in a bathroom?
I mean,
I guess don't knock it.
Yeah.
But no thanks.
no thanks.
I'll get my drugs the proper way.
Oh my God, this was so annoying. I bought some stuff from duty free in Mexico, and then I got on my flight and I had it in my little tote bag that I had with me, because when you go through duty free, you already checked your bag in, right? And then I had a layover in Atlanta, but I had to go through customs in Atlanta, so I had to recheck in my bag and go to the counter. So I did that, but I still held my little tote and I had the duty free stuff. And I went through security and they wouldn't let me bring in the stuff that I got. They said it wasn't packaged properly. I was like, what the hell? Like,
I just bought this here.
So they're like, I don't know what to tell you. You have to either just like give it up right now or go back to the counter and see what they can do for you. So I went, and what ended up happening was, so the tote bag that I had, I had a sweater wrapped around my waist. They told me, because they didn't have any boxes to like ship it or anything, they told me to wrap the product in my sweater, tape it up, put it in your tote, tape that up, and we'll check it in. And that's what I did. And it arrived. It worked. But I was like, really? This is weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
interesting.
Yeah. I was just like, I don't know. I feel like that stuff probably happens all the time. You guys don't have like things to like, you don't have like a little box that you can ship it in. I don't know.
Travel sagas.
Yeah. But we sound like I sound like I'm complaining. I had a great time. I really did have a great time.
It looked fun.
Yeah.
It looked like a lot of fun. So it was for a bachelorette and it was for Stephanie's bachelorette.
Yes.
And I loved that. What was it, the last night that you guys all dressed up like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Stephanie, who's been on the podcast,
it's hilarious.
She's so funny. She's probably one of the funniest people I know. And she's also one of the weirdest people I know. This girl said we all have to dress up like a SpongeBob character for the last night. And we went to like one of the parties at the pool. But she doesn't mean like she was not accepting no half-ass costume. Like you had to go all out.
As you should.
And so I was Squidward. Stephanie was Patrick, because the man that she's marrying, his name is Patrick. So I think that is the reason why she did that. But like there was like a Sandy Cheeks. There was Mr. Krabs. There was SpongeBob.
It was so good.
It was pretty, and we felt like celebrities. Everyone came up to us and asked for pictures. I was like, oh my God, stop.
$5.
Yeah, literally, I
Venmo.
Pretty sure I said that actually.
Yeah.
But there was a point where I was like, damn, like this is exhausting. Like I feel bad for celebrities a little bit, because that gets exhausting.
Famous stuff.
Yeah.
You just can't go out in your average Squidward gear anymore and just not expect to get noticed.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it sure was.
I loved it.
Thank you.
As a bystander on Instagram. Ready to get controversial?
You always do that, and I love it. You always like
lean in.
Yes, let's just dive right into the controversial.
We got a
opinion.
few.
Yeah. So I'll just read the first one. I find it annoying when people constantly deactivate their Instagrams and let the world know. I agree.
It's not even constantly for me. I think if you do it one time, I'm like, what are you doing this for?
I feel like I hear this all the time. People are just like, I just need a social media cleanse. Have you ever done like a social media cleanse?
No.
Same. But I mean, I'm not trying to be like,
we're not holier than thou for keeping social media.
No, and I'm trying, like, if it is sincerely a problem for you, like social media is a problem, I guess I get it, but like I guess I can't like understand that. Like I've never felt like I've I mean, I'm sure I am addicted to my phone and social media, but like it doesn't stop me from like getting my tasks done, like my job done, anything. But I feel like people love to like announce it to the world, like, hey guys, deleting my Instagram for a little bit. Text me. I'm like, okay.
But I'll play a little devil's advocate because I feel like a lot of the reason why I haven't ever like gone off social media, one, I use it for work. Two,
True.
I don't want to do that because I feel like that is the ignoring part, and you're so right. But I also could not just go ghost off of social media because there are genuinely some people that I talk to only through Instagram DMs or like shooting messages back and forth. There are some people that actually just don't have my phone number, and not necessarily because I don't want them to have it, but because they've never needed it, because that is a form of communication. So I would feel like if I just fully deleted it, they're going to think, oh, she blocked me, or like, oh, that's weird. And maybe this is me just like hiding my own self-importance to people that I hardly know. But that is something that I would stress about. But I also would never want to be the person that is like, hey guys, taking a break. Because there is something like kind of self-righteous about that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, do you want me to ask why? Like, I feel like you want me to ask why.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to.
Are you well?
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I just don't think, but maybe I'm not being sympathetic enough. And I do lack that. I know that. I'm in therapy, guys. I'm talking about this.
Everyone should go to therapy.
Yeah. It's new for me. I'm back on, like, I think when we started this podcast together, I think I did therapy. But I because remember I talked about how like she suggested I join a gay choir, and I was like, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
But now I'm back, and it's been great. I really like this therapist.
With a new person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
So
I was thinking about this before we go off of this train. I was thinking about why. So if you had to answer why men are so attractive that don't have social media, what would it be?
I think it kind of relates to what we were talking about last week with Eddie. Like, social media causes so many problems, and we all know that. Like, you just have so much access on social media, and you can get away with a lot.
Increased sleuthing.
So, right, exactly. So, if a guy doesn't have that, you're like, wow, I don't have to worry about that. And that's hot.
Yeah. I also feel like there's something hot about just someone who doesn't need that validation.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. We all use social media for validation in a certain kind of way. So I was thinking about that, and then I was like, well, do I really need that? And yeah, I think I do.
I kind of do. Oh my God. I posted twice after Cabo.
Oh, I saw.
And like the thrill of like opening your phone and seeing a bunch of likes, like I hate to admit it, but it's like one of the best feelings in the world.
Literally a drug. It's like dopamine to the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have a hit post, sometimes you think you have a hit post and it's not a hit, and you're like, fuck, I'm embarrassed. But both of my posts after Cabo, they were hits. If I do say so myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So something hot about a guy that doesn't need that, but also won't be me.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be me either.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. There used to be different form of life here on Earth, and humans are the aliens who took over the planet.
Probably.
I mean, don't we know that already? Dinosaurs were here before humans.
True.
Dinosaurs and humans never overlapped, right? No. Oh my God, that was
no.
No.
Have you ever watched Ice Age?
Oh my God.
Wait, I guess Ice Age, they did overlap. And we're going to ignore that. We're just going to scoot on past it. Those weren't dinosaurs. Those were mammoths.
Were there people? There were no people in Ice Age.
Yeah, that's the baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a whole village of people.
I don't know if Ice Age is like historically accurate.
There were actually no dinosaurs in Ice Age.
Have you seen Jurassic Park? Of course there were dinosaurs and people.
Now we're just both dumb. We're just dumb today.
But yeah.
At this point, I believe anything and everything.
Right.
Like there's nothing that is off the table.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, sure. Which is, but you also get into a headspace where it's like, it's hard to believe that there are going to be such major developments in your lifetime because you're like, we've lived so long, we've figured it all out, when that's not true at all.
6 months ago, weren't we just like talking about alien sightings, and like didn't the government like literally tell us that they have aliens in captive?
Yeah, still not sure about that.
Right?
I also saw something.
We just kind of glanced over that as a society, I feel like. Why didn't we talk about that longer?
I saw some conspiracy that somebody brought that up because they brought that up like willy-nilly on their own. They brought that up because Biden's son went to jail or something.
Oh, so it was like a distraction
to gloss over. Whatever. I don't trust anyone over there.
I don't trust
anyone in that camp, but I also believe anything could be true.
Totally. Okay, next. Chipotle is not that girl. The chicken always feels a little sus. The add-ons are overpriced. In parentheses, we're only here for the guac. And the customer service is dreadful.
I don't know. Listen, Chipotle is not the best. I don't think it's as good as people hype it up. But do we feel like people are hyping it up as much as they used to?
No. I don't think people talk about Chipotle like they used to.
Yeah, but they definitely used to, and I don't. I think when they used to, I like was so against it, but that was when I was with my ex who loved it, and I just like to be against things that he loves. But that's neither here nor there. And I would say I do order it now, but I think that's really just because I want a bowl or something. I love the chips.
Because it's kind of healthy-ish.
Yeah. But I also do it always through Uber Eats. I'd never go into a Chipotle.
Right. Same.
But I believe that they don't give a fuck if you lived or died.
And they also like give you like 4 strains of rice and like a half a piece of chicken.
Yeah. There's no brand consistency through any of it.
But I think when Chipotle is good, it's really good. But sometimes that chicken is like chewy.
Yeah, I don't think it's reliable.
Yeah.
I think he's so right. Or he, she.
They.
He, she, they. Not that girl.
Yeah, I think she kind of used to be that girl, but she's not that girl anymore.
Yeah, she's not that girl.
And that's okay.
Settled. Okay, next up. There's no such thing as a single soulmate. You have different soulmates in different ways. Could be friends, relationships, etc.
Do you believe in soulmates? Like, let's first go there. Do you believe in soulmates?
I agree with this person, and I think that there are multiple. But I mean, think of like everyone you've ever loved. You never love a person in the same way, but your soul feels connected to that person. So I feel like that's like a soulmate in a way, but you're not like soulmate. I feel like soulmate is like, people say soulmate in a way that it's just one person.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets from. But I agree. I think you can have several soulmates in like both platonic and romantic ways.
Do you think we're soulmates?
I 100% do. Like if I have any soulmates.
I think so too. Like if I'm gonna like buy into the idea of soulmate, because I feel like I'm not like fully there yet, where I'm like, we have soulmates is a real thing. But if I do, yeah, you are a soulmate.
But I mean, think of us. That I generally like most people, but I don't have this kind of connection with most people.
True.
And it's not necessarily anything we did. It's just who we are.
That's so true. That's such a good way to put it. I agree. And like I have a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances, but like
flex.
But I feel like this whole podcast, I sound like a pretentious asshole, and I don't know why anyone would like me.
I have a lot of friends, so.
But I mean, facts are facts. But not at the same level as like this friendship. You know, I only have like a few of those. So like, if that's a soulmate, then yeah, then I 100% agree with this controversial opinion. You definitely have.
And I feel like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
But I feel like
Don't do it again.
I feel like with men in particular in romantic relationships, like we've talked about, we can go through our list of we want this, this, and this is an ick and this is an ick. But at the same time, I can fall in love with anyone if they're the right person.
Yeah.
But I think that's where like the soulmate comes in, because it's not necessarily anything that person is doing in particular. It's just something about them that is more attractive to me than the others.
Yeah. And I like that this opinion said like it could be in friends, because I think when most people think of soulmate, they think of romantic partnership. So yeah, I when I was listening to you read that out loud, I was like kind of rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, but now that we like talked it through, I agree.
Yeah. We got tons of soulmates out there.
That's therapy right there.
And I also feel like the people just underrate platonic friendships more. And we've probably said this before several times, but I think platonic friendships are honestly way more important than romantic relationships. Like I don't feel like you can have such a solid one-on-one romantic relationship, or however many you want, I guess, if that's your thing. But I don't think you can have that if you don't first have solid platonic friends.
I agree. I think platonic relationships are so important. I think it's just as important as like your like. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you had to have one or the other, like only like good friends or one like romantic partner,
I'd never date again.
Right. I think I may be with you on that too. Like if you can only have a romantic partner but no friends, or have really good friends, no. Yeah. Because
you just can't find everything that you need in one person. Yeah. You just truly cannot.
Right. But if you are, and if you are in a relationship, I think both relationships are just as important. Like you can't neglect your friends. Like friendships are so important. I think a lot of people do that. Like a lot of people do that. They get into relationships and they like put everything into that relationship and completely like leave their friends behind. And you know, when everything fails, because let's face it, most relationships these days don't like last forever, unfortunately. Who do you got? You know?
Who do you got? But I also think, and I listened to this lady on a podcast talk about relationships and talk about this same exact thing, like why friends are so important. And it was because you can't get everything from one person, and you shouldn't try that. Mm-hmm. Like if you really like, I'm trying to think of we really like watching Vanderpump Rules. I can't expect somebody that I get into a relationship with to love watching Vanderpump Rules, nor should I care if they do, because I already have somebody that I can talk. But if you don't have anybody and you're trying to fit this one person into all of your interests and then them do the same, bring you into all of theirs, like who are you as individuals?
That's a good analogy. I agree with that. Speaking of soulmates, not to air your business out, but do you think this guy you're going on a date with this weekend is your soulmate?
I mean, odds aren't good, but
yeah.
But I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Hopefully it happens.
Really, yeah. Well, I guess it hasn't fully been confirmed. It's like a very loose plan, but yeah. So far, it's he hasn't said anything. I don't really know much about him, which is great because then you have a lot to learn. Yes. I like what I see so far. He hasn't said anything creepy, and he's been able to keep a conversation going. So, like,
bare minimum, already met.
Yeah. What more could you want? Actually.
Now let's see if he shows up. That's the bare minimum, actually.
Yeah, true.
But like you said, you don't have anything set.
True. We were also kind of talking earlier, and we'll piggyback off of this. Bryan and I were eating dinner together, like soulmates do, before this, and he touched the rice on his plate, and he said, if I was on a date and a man touched their rice like this and push it onto their fork, he said I would walk up and leave, or I'd stand up and leave.
And I mean that. So like like I was trying to, when you're eating rice with a fork and it's like the last like 20 strains. Do you call rice strains? Strains of rice?
Yeah.
Strains?
Grains.
We're really fucking dumb.
Again, guys, it's so late.
Yeah. Strains. I feel like I said it earlier on the podcast too. I was trying to like scoop it up and I couldn't. So I told Chelsea, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm about to use my finger. And I don't think Chelsea registered that as like something that's like not okay. But for
Literally
me,
zero judgment on my end.
but for me, like that's not okay. Like in my home, that's okay. But like if you're at like a restaurant and like I see someone using their hands to like help scoop something into their fork or spoon, I cringe. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's not okay.
I don't know that I would think twice. Maybe I would. I think it would just depend on how like aggressively they're doing.
If I'm at dinner with you and Tegan, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like time and place.
Well, as you said that, I'm like, well, I don't know that I ever have done that, but I know that I never will. I know that I never will from this point forward.
So
anyway, and it's way past my bedtime.
Yeah. So I think we can end the pod there.
Yeah, I think this is it.
So like we said earlier, please, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll have a new guest next week.
Yes, we will. So.
And it's going to be so fun.
Yes.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.